and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news update show on the channel today. And today is a good day. Not only is it Donny's birthday, but Manchester United have gotten Donny van de Beek a very, very nice present for his birthday, because Ten Hag is officially 100% agreed. We've known for about 10-11 days since Ornstein broke the news and ESPN broke the news that Ten Hag was coming to Manchester United, but it was 99% done. But today it's 100% done, and they've done it on Donny's birthday. I mean, United are treating him so bad before. Yet let's give him a good present and get in Ten Hag. And look, guys, I'm sorry if it's a little bit laggy. Why is my Wi-Fi so bad? You're joking? Freaking hell. But I will say I'm very, very happy with Ten Hag. And because my Wi-Fi is absolutely playing up, we're going to share the screen on something a little bit less blurry that I'm going to get into. But Ten Hag to Manchester United. Here we go. If you do not believe me, go and check Fabrizio Romano's Twitter. We've got a here we go for ERIK Ten Hag. If you're wondering what I'm doing, it's my Wi-Fi is absolutely freezing up. It was fine. It was really working good earlier, and it's absolutely frozen up. So we're going to get this up on the screen. How can Man United get top four up on the screen, which will be our next talking point. But guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Share the video and all of that. Hopefully now the screen's on something less blurry. The quality should be better. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. But Steve with the early chat in here saying Ten Hag wants to come to Man United, get rid of the deadwood like Maguire. Shows he wants to come and do good. If it was Barca was poor, he would still come and fix them other top clubs. Yeah, Ten Hag wants to come to Manchester United. He wants to rebuild us. He wants to get rid of the bad. He wants to enter the good. And what I think is really, really promising about ERIK Ten Hag to Manchester United, and what appeals to me the most about ERIK Ten Hag to Manchester United, is in all these interviews that ERIK Ten Hag has had with Manchester United, he's made it very, very clear that he wants this power to bring in and sell who he wants. ERIK Ten Hag's made it very, very clear he wants to bring in his backroom stuff. ERIK Ten Hag was not afraid to say to Manchester United, if you're not going to give me the power, if you're not going to let me develop the youth, if you're not going to let me choose my backroom stuff, I won't come. And ERIK Ten Hag's come with this mindset of Man United's a mess. Man United's been a mess for the last 9 years. For my career, Man United is a massive risk, Eric. It's a massive risk for ERIK Ten Hag's career, because he looks at every single manager in the last 9 years and they've all flopped. And this is a big, big risk in Ten Hag's career. It's his first big jump. And he's gone, you know what? I'm going to do anything I can to succeed at Manchester United. I want this job. This is a step in my career. But I only want this job if I believe I'm going to succeed. And ERIK Ten Hag's laid all these things down to the Manchester United board, the Manchester United club, is like, no, I do not want an ex-player. I want Mitchell van der Gaard working with me. No, I do not want this player. I want this player. And ERIK Ten Hag wants to get rid of a lot of players and bring in a lot of players. And I think he's absolutely the perfect man for it. And I will never be Ten Hag out. I don't think I can ever be Ten Hag out, because I'm at the point now as a Manchester United fan where there's been so many failed managers. And I believe so rightly that Ten Hag is the right man, that even if Ten Hag does not work, for me, if Ten Hag fails, it won't be Ten Hag's fault. It will be the board's fault, because I believe the board will not stuck to their promises, or it'll be the players' fault. I'm at the point where whoever really the next manager of Man United is, if I believe that it should be the next manager, I'm going to forever bat them, because I think the players are obviously the problem at this club. As Roy Keane says, leopards don't change their spot. Mourinho, Ole and Rangnick all thrown under the bus. And I think the board is a big issue at this club. And for me, I'm not going to be Ten Hag out. I don't think we can jump on Ten Hag's back. And someone said to me, where do you want Ten Hag to finish next season? If you want my honest opinion, next season is not about getting a trophy and finishing top four. Yes, it's Manchester United. You don't want to be finishing 10th. But next season is a fresh new start. It's not about getting a trophy. It's not about getting top four. For me, at the end of the day, if we don't get top four next season, if we don't get a trophy, it's not the end of the world. Well, I'd like one, yes. But what I mean about next season, it's about giving Ten Hag a season to adapt to the Premier League and let the players adapt to his style. We see how these players are really struggling to adapt to Ralf Rangnick's style, and Ten Hag's style of football is more demanding than Ralf Rangnick's. It's going to be very difficult for these lazy players, and also it's going to be a big change for Ten Hag. And I think, Jurgen Klopp was not very successful in his first season at Liverpool, was he? Pep Guardiola didn't win anything in his first season at Manchester City, did he? They're the two best managers in the world right now. You look at Pep, you look at Klopp, you look at the level of Man City and Liverpool, and look where they are now. That's where we want to be in 3 years. But it was Pep good in his first year? No. Was Klopp good in his first year? No. And when people say, well, Ten Hag's going to get us third in the trophy, for me, it's not about that. It's about seeing improvement, seeing a style of play implemented, seeing the direction of the squad. You see Arsenal with Arteta. Even if Arsenal finish 5th this season and they get top four, I think it's a good season for Arsenal. I think it's a good season for Arteta because you can see the direction of what Arteta wants to do and where Arsenal need to go. And I don't think Arsenal are good enough for fourth, you know. And I think with United, it's not about winning trophies or top four next season. It's about giving the direction. Paul says Ten Hag will strip Maguire captaincy and might sell him. That is reports coming out. I don't think Harry Maguire will be sold, but I do think Harry Maguire will be stripped of captaincy under ERIK Ten Hag. And I do believe ERIK Ten Hag is going to be ruthless again, as Paul's put in the chat, because players that used to work with Ten Hag, obviously Donny van de Beek, a couple of Ten Hag's ex-players have actually come and spoken out, and multiple sources have said that Ten Hag was at Utrecht. I don't know how to say the name of the club, but you know the club I mean, Utrecht. I can't say the name of the club. I haven't played FIFA in a while, not gonna lie. My foreign names are just... But he used to play under Ten Hag, and he said when Ten Hag came to his club, the whole dressing room transferred, the whole mentality transferred. You know, Ten Hag has completed many rebuilds, but he's actually done a complete dressing room reset at his previous club before Ajax, where the dressing room was a bit stale. It didn't have that winning mentality. And they said when ERIK Ten Hag came into the dressing room, the standards went up. He demanded so much from his players, and the mentality went up. And that's what Man United need. They need a mentality change. The standards need to go up, and we need a winning mentality. The big problem with Manchester United and some of the players at Manchester United is, I think some of the players at Manchester United generally believe that they've made it. That's how I feel about some of the United players. They generally believe that they've made it, and they've got this really, really massive ego that they shouldn't have. I think the ego on some of these Man United players is crazy, that when Ronaldo comes into Manchester United and he's demanding more from these players, the problem is a lot of Man United players are going, fuck you, Ronaldo, stop demanding more from me. Whereas, obviously, if ERIK Ten Hag comes in and starts demanding more from the players, I do worry some United players will be like, fuck you, Ten Hag, stop demanding more from me. I've made it. I'm on big wages, bish, bash, bosh. And see, these United players, no, you haven't made it. You know, yes, at ERIK Ten Hag's previous club, they're all trying to do their best so they can get a move to a top European club. And, you know, it's about proving yourself at Ajax. A lot of Man United players feel like if you play for United week in, week out, you've proved yourself. Maguire plays for Man United week in, week out. McTominay plays for Man United week in, week out. And Rashford used to play for Man United week in, week out. Right now, they're not very good. They haven't proved themselves. They haven't made it. They're not very good. Just because you play for United week in, week out doesn't mean you're good enough. It's because this club is an absolute mess at the moment. And I really hope that when Ten Hag comes in and he demands a dressing room change and he demands the standards of this club change, that we don't go F off. I really hope that we do listen to him as well. Andrew says, even at Ajax, you can see how he maintains level even when the top players were sold off. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, ERIK Ten Hag's completed 2 rebuilds at Ajax and he's completely maintained this top level in both those seasons at Ajax. He's just, I think he's just a crazy, crazy good manager as well. And Donny's already warned the players about Ten Hag training, and I can't wait to see how these brats act as Ten Hag Reds. And you're absolutely right. Another article came out and said that Donny van de Beek had spoken to his Manchester United teammates and said to them, you know, Ten Hag's going to demand a lot more of you in training. Ten Hag's going to want you to monitor your diet. Luke Shaw, I'm joking. Ten Hag's going to, you know, Ten Hag wants a lot from these players. He's going to be very high demanding, more intense trainings. You know, David Ayer came out and said that, you know, Ralph Rangnick had made training more intense. Well, actually, United squad, you're going to learn how easy you had it under Ollie for 3 years. Ollie and the coaches, they were underqualified. They got the job of being ex-legends. You know, these Man United players had it so easy under Ollie. These Man United players had it absolutely ridiculous easy. Rangnick comes in, demands more. They're complaining. How dare Rangnick set homework? How dare Rangnick not let me drive home till after 5 p.m.? You know, if you think Rangnick demands a lot of United players, you know, you're in for a shot with Ten Hag. And Donny van de Beek has come out and told the United players that Ten Hag will demand a lot, not just on the pitch, off the pitch, your diet, your work rate, your training outside of training, showing up for training early, longer training, more intense training, and stealing a winning mentality. You know, there's a reason why Ten Hag has been so successful at Ajax. And you can go, oh, it's Ajax, it's the Eredivisie. But before Ten Hag came to Ajax, they weren't dominating the Eredivisie like they did. Before Ten Hag came to Ajax, they didn't do much in the Champions League. Ten Hag's done 2 Ajax rebuilds. You know, he's got rid of De Jong, Donny, De Ligt, some of his key players. You know, he's made Sebastian Haller a brilliant striker in Europe. Dusan Tadic is the top assister in Europe. You know, you think of what Ten Hag's done with some okay players. You look at how many good youth players Ten Hag's brought through. De Ligt, De Jong, Donny, who we've unfortunately ruined. There's obviously the likes of Timber. You know, Daley Blind is looking good in the defence for Ajax in the Champions League, and he's got no pace. You know, Harry Maguire might become a good centre-back under ERIK Ten Hag. Now, I don't think that Harry Maguire is best suited to ERIK Ten Hag's style of football, but if you think about it, if ERIK Ten Hag plays Dean Henderson because it's more his style than De Gea. Dean Henderson will be higher up, which means when Man United play a high line, it will be easier for Maguire. Maybe Maguire might have some defensive discipline, and we actually might get the Maguire that was actually quite good for us last season, but he's absolutely shocking this season. I believe that Maguire will be at Manchester United next season, but I do not believe that he will be captain and all that. Are any of Ten Hag's staff coming? Yes, Mitchell van der Gaag is coming with ERIK Ten Hag from Ajax. It's not 100% deal done, but it's basically a deal. It's done. We're waiting for it to happen. Manchester United are inquiring about Robin van Persie as well. However, there have been visa issues. I will get into that. Fabrizio Romano has touched on that. And obviously, Steve McLaren is another name that could be joining. There's obviously the links to Paul Mitchell. David Ornstein spoke about Paul Mitchell this morning. Very, very reliable journalist. Again, I'd like Paul Mitchell to come in as a co-sporting director, but that would be a very good decision from Manchester United, which means the Glazers won't do it. We've made one good decision in Ten Hag. Well, we've made two good decisions in letting Ten Hag bring in as assistant, and the third good decision would be bringing in Paul Mitchell as a sporting director. But Man United cannot get three good decisions in a row. We'll do two good things and we'll fuck up the third thing. You know what we did? Two good signings in the summer transfer window, fucked up the third, didn't get a CDM. That is Manchester United for you. Robin van Persie allegedly joining Ten Hag's backroom. That is alleged. I don't know what's going on with Robin van Persie. There's reports, rumours and links that Van Persie will come into Manchester United. But we'll have to wait and see. I know that there is visa issues as well. Shashi says that ERIK Ten Hag must get rid of Maguire, Delot, McTominay, Fred, Pogba, Rashford, Lingard, Mata, and bring in some fresh legs. Basically, you're naming all the players. And Ten Hag was more best choice than Poch. I think Ten Hag was a better choice than Poch. And if you do agree with me, hit that like button. Some of the Manchester United players are not happy with the addition of ERIK Ten Hag. And you know what? Fuck them. You don't deserve to choose who the next manager is, because one, you're a player. It's not your role to choose who the next manager is. And two, you've not been playing well. So, you know, the difference between ERIK Ten Hag and Pochettino is there's many differences, but ERIK Ten Hag demands more. You know, Pochettino is more a yes man. Pochettino's more about lets the players have control. You see how PSG are roaming that dressing room. ERIK Ten Hag is more of a figure that demands control, less of a yes man. You know, ERIK Ten Hag in interviews with United is saying, well, I'm only coming if I can get this, this and this. You know, you've got to let me have power of new contracts, incomings, outcomings. You've got to let me bring in my own backroom staff. I don't want to be working with Michael Carrick. I want to be working with Mitchell van der Gaag. You've got to let me have you know, key access to training, key youth development. I don't want to be controlled. ERIK Ten Hag, we know from former ERIK Ten Hag players, we know from Donny van de Beek, he demands a lot in training. Off the pitch, on the pitch, he demands this winning mentality. He wants a lot of discipline in these players. If you watched Ajax play in the PSV Cup final, even though they lost, the discipline in those Ajax players were crazy, which is exactly why these players need ERIK Ten Hag, because with Poch, we can see PSG are ruling the roost. At Manchester United, the players are ruling the roost. They threw Mourinho under the bus, they threw Ole under the bus, they threw Rangnick under the bus. And, you know, there's a whole mentality reset needs to be done at United. You know, we go 1-0 down in the game, we collapse. We concede a goal, we collapse. You know, this time last year, we're the king of comeback, second half FC. This time, we have no discipline. We have a weak mentality. And we know that Poch, he's not going to instill that winning mentality. What has Poch won? You know, but Ten Hag's going to come in, he's going to demand a winning mentality, he's going to discipline the squad, and Ten Hag's going to be more intense than Ralf Rangnick. These players cannot adapt to Ralf Rangnick. These players are whinging they can't adapt to Ralf Rangnick. Ole was just too nice to you. Ralf Rangnick is what's expected, and Ten Hag's going to be more than what's expected, because I tell you this now, Liverpool and Manchester City work 10 times harder in training than the Manchester United players do. That's a fact. You know, I think Everton work harder in training than the Manchester United players do. These Manchester United players have had everything on a platter. I remember when Donny first joined Everton, Everton players said that Donny was a level above everyone else in training, but he would never get picked for Man United, and they couldn't explain it. And I reckon at Man United, because we've been picking players because they're British and they cost 80 million, or they're an academy player, some of these players at United have become too comfortable. Maguire, McTominay, Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford. And, you know, they've now got to prove themselves under ERIK Ten Hag. Maybe they felt like they've made it playing week in, week out. But these players have now got to go and prove themselves under ERIK Ten Hag. You know, ERIK Ten Hag is not going to go, yeah, McTominay, you're going to start because you're British, you're an academy lad, and you've got the United DNA. ERIK Ten Hag is going to look at Donny van de Beek and go, well, you've done what I want in training. You've got the attributes to play my style of play. Donny, you're on it. McTominay, all of a sudden now you've got to go prove yourself. You're not going to be playing because you're a Man United favourite. You know, Poch comes in and it will be Maguire, McTominay, Rashford starting week in, week out. The same players playing for that all the time. If you underperform under Ten Hag, you will be dropped. There's just a level of standard that ERIK Ten Hag demands, which I think is needed at Manchester United most definitely as well. Gaz says that he has to be allowed to get rid of most of the team. I do agree with that, Gaz. We have to let Erik ten Hag get rid of most of the team. And Paul says he can't wait to see Ten Hag signs in the summer. Getting into that, it has come out today that Ten Hag would like a centre-back, a striker, a CDM. Manchester United will be looking at Darwin Núñez, Calvin Phillips, but Tchouaméni is Ten Hag's first choice CDM, and Timber. In terms of outs, we know there's going to be a lot of players leaving Manchester United. And what I am going to say is no one knows the future of Martial. No one knows the future of Ronaldo. We will talk about that later in the show. But what we do know for a fact is, Lingard's going, Mata's going, Matic is going, Pogba's going, Cavani's going, Phil Jones is going. That's 6 players going. Now, there's a lot of players at Manchester United that don't want to be here. And this is where it's going to be difficult for Ten Hag coming in. He's got to work with a lot of players that don't want to be here at Manchester United. He's got to work with a lot of players that probably didn't want him. They probably wanted Poch. And ERIK doesn't want to be at Man United, but we gave him a new contract last year, quite high wages. How are we going to sell him? Marcus Rashford will not leave. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Ten Hag might want him sold, but who's going to buy him? Who's going to pay his wages? You've got to think about it like that. Martial, he wants to go. We know Martial wants to go. He's made it very clear he wants to go. We might not be able to sell Martial because Cavani's gone, and I don't think Greenwood will return. So, Erik ten Hag, this is why I say it's so important that we do not judge Erik ten Hag next season. If you judge Klopp off his first season, you would have called him a flop. If you judge Pep off his first season at City, you'd have called him a flop. Because look at Klopp and look at Pep now. Klopp and Pep now are where we want to be in 2, 3 years, 4 years. That's where we want to be. That's the level. But look at Klopp and Pep's first season. They weren't successful, were they? For me, people were saying, yeah, Erik ten Hag needs to get top 4 and win a trophy next season. Erik ten Hag doesn't need to do anything next season. I'd like top 4. I'd like a trophy. But I'm not expecting a position or a cup from Erik ten Hag next season. If we're in the Europa League, I'd expect to win it. But what I mean by that is next season, it's going to be difficult for Ten Hag because he's got to get used to the league. He's going to have to work with players that wanted Poch. He's going to have to work with players that have thrown every single manager under the bus. He's going to have to reinstill the mentality and discipline at Manchester United, complete a rebuild, work with players that do not suit his style and philosophy, work obviously with a difficult board. Erik ten Hag has a lot to do. And as I said, Rangnick is the middleman between Ten Hag and Ollie. Ollie is the polar opposite to Ten Hag, And as I'm going, I know I'm repeating myself, but when Ollie was at Manchester United, training wasn't very intense. It was moments of magic. There wasn't clear. It was individual FC. There wasn't a clear team pattern, team cohesion. The mentality at Manchester United was quite weak. Ollie was very nice to the players. He very protected the players. Rangnick comes in. He's not protecting the players. If this player's playing up, he's not going to protect them. Rangnick is not a yes man. Rangnick demands more in training. United players cannot cope with Rangnick demanding more in training. Well, Erik ten Hag is the polar opposite of Ollie, as we know from Donny, as we know from players that worked under Erik ten Hag. Discipline, winning mentality is something he wants to steal in the dressing room, which is something the dressing room needs. He's not afraid to drop players. His training sessions are intense. His training sessions are hard. If we're complaining about Ralf Rangnick's training sessions, some of these players are not going to cope with Ten Hag's training sessions. You've got to think of it like that. Ten Hag is bald, and he worked at Bayern Munich with Pep Guardiola. We see what Pep Guardiola demands from that Man City players, and we see the level of that Man City players. The level of Man City is so far ahead from United. The level of Liverpool is so far ahead from United, and we will talk about the Liverpool game because fuck me, I'm worried. We're going to get battered tomorrow. I'm worried. But I will say, not only is Ten Hag bald, not only has he worked under Pep, but he demands those standards. To complete 2 rebuilds at Ajax, to get Ajax doing well in the Champions League, to turn Sebastian Haller and Tadic that were almost finished Premier League players into good Champions League players, to bring in all that youth, to actually, if you look at his record at Ajax, that Eredivisie is more difficult than we think, and he's done absolutely brilliant. His recruitment's been spot on. His player development's been spot on. The improvements have been spot on. His tactics, he's got a clear direction, a clear coaching philosophy. And this is something United have lacked. What was Ollie's coaching philosophy? What was Ollie's direction? What was Ollie's style of play? Sit back and counter. Well, that's not sustainable if you can't break down the team. Ten Hag is similar to Klopp, similar to Pep in that sense of that he has a philosophy, he has a style of play he wants to stick with. But not only that, he is a born winner. He has that winning mentality that Manchester United lack. And that is why Ajax are at the level they are. That's why Ajax are doing so well in Champions League games, because their players, they might be from a weaker league, have the right discipline and mentality. And that's something that we massively need, if you want my honest opinion. Daryl says he can't wait for top 4. How old are Pep and Klopp? I have no idea, but I'd assume 50s as well. And Steve says I'm excited for Man U Arsenal than tomorrow. Yeah, Man United Arsenal will be an absolute massive game. And Gaben said that these players are gonna cry. They probably will. And thank you very much, Daryl, for the super chat that's just gone. Ten Hag and all these lovely emojis. Guys, how are you feeling about ERIK ten Hag? Are you excited? If you are excited about ERIK ten Hag to Manchester United, hit that like button. If you're ten Hag of a Poch, hit that like button. And if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do subscribe. I go live every single evening, giving you guys all the latest updates, news on Manchester United. I will be live tomorrow evening for a Manchester United versus Liverpool watch along. Well, hopefully we'll be winning. As sad as it is, the standards of Manchester United have fallen so badly that if we beat Liverpool tomorrow, it is our trophy. The highlight of our season could be a win against Liverpool. That is how bad the standards of this club is. But if we beat Liverpool and we stop them winning a Premier League so they don't overtake us in league titles, and we're fucking brilliant. We will not beat Liverpool. We're going to get embarrassed tomorrow. I'm doing a watch along tomorrow, so subscribe, you know, so you can feel the pain with me. I'm not expecting anything tomorrow. A draw, I would celebrate like a win. I'm not even lying. I think we're absolutely screwed tomorrow. But I will say I'm going to be live tomorrow for a watch along, and I will do a match reaction after the game. So please do subscribe if you're new. Share the video as well. I go live every single evening. Gehan says he's so excited about the change. I'm very excited about ERIK ten Hag. Manish says, do you think ERIK ten Hag will give us top 4? Maybe next season, but I don't think it's about top 4 next season. As I said earlier, did Klopp get top 4? No, it's about getting the deadwood out, getting his players in. And I think next season isn't about top 4 or trophies. As I said, it's about ERIK ten Hag slowly implementing his style and the players being able to get used to ERIK ten Hag's style of play. You know, we don't have a style of play at Manchester United. We tried to play Ralf Rangnick's play. The players weren't up to it. Ralf Rangnick didn't have a pre-season, so we couldn't get the players up to that fitness level. Luckily, ERIK ten Hag will have a pre-season. He'll have a pre-season tour where hopefully he can do some fitness training to get the players up to the fitness level. Because I think, and I think you guys will probably agree with me on this, I think a lot of those Manchester United players are incredibly unfit. I think the fitness levels at Manchester United is a little bit of a joke, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you. You know, Everton had 2.5 days rest before that game and ran 10 kilometres further than us on average when we had a week's rest. You know, you look at Manchester United and how much we run compared to other teams, we're right at the bottom. The fitness level at Manchester United is concerning, and with ERIK ten Hag playing a high press, high intensity game, we need to get our fitness levels up. I think Manchester City, every single one of their players would trump our players for fitness. Same with Liverpool, because I think when you get to the elite level, everyone is so good. Fitness can be an absolute difference between winning and losing. I've always felt like that. I reckon ERIK ten Hag will play a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. I think ERIK ten Hag will play a 4-2-3-1 at Manchester United. And Rangnick brought 7 of Klopp's first players. Yeah, I saw that Rangnick did a press conference today. He was asked about Jurgen Klopp, and he said Jurgen Klopp's a fantastic manager. You look at what Jurgen Klopp's built at Liverpool. He said about 7 of Jurgen Klopp's players at Liverpool were playing for him that he'd brought into RB Leipzig when they were unknown. You know, if you look at those Liverpool players, a lot of them Ralf Rangnick scouted when they were very, very unknown. And that's crazy, because 7 of the players in the Liverpool squad that are doing so well were players that Rangnick found when they were unknown. And Rangnick has a really good reputation of finding these gems. You know, Mane, Firmino, Keita, Konate, they're all players that Ralf Rangnick found, and they're all doing well at Liverpool. You know, players that Ralf Rangnick found and got for cheap when they were unknown. And I always say this, Man United have given Darren Fletcher and John Murtough the role of recruitment, the role of the rebuild. Ten Hag will be working with Darren Fletcher and John Murtough in this rebuild. But we all know that, and we know this from multiple sources, that Ten Hag wants to work with Ralf Rangnick. Ten Hag's excited to work with Ralf Rangnick because, no disrespect to Darren Fletcher. Darren Fletcher, you're only the technical director of Manchester United because you were an ex-player. There's nothing on your CV that says to Darren Fletcher he deserves to be technical director of Manchester United. Why does Darren Fletcher deserve a bigger say in decisions of who we buy and sell than Ralf Rangnick? When Ralf Rangnick brought 7 of the current players who were in the Liverpool squad that are playing really well and could win a quadruple for less than 10 million when no one had heard of them, Ralf Rangnick had found them. You know, if Ralf Rangnick had found all these hidden gems that make up half the Liverpool side right now that are playing crazily well, surely we should be giving Ralf Rangnick, you know, a free roam to work with Ten Hag. And this is why, you know, when Ralf Rangnick's coming to Manchester United saying, I think you should get Ten Hag, I think you should bring in Paul Mitchell as a co-sporting director, because Richard Arnold doesn't want to do the footballing responsibility of the job because, he's like Woodward, he's a banker. Let's bring in Richard Arnold to work with me and John Murtough. This is why I hope Man United listen. Man United listened to Ralf Rangnick and said, yeah, we'll get Ten Hag. Ralf Rangnick's now advising Manchester United to go for Paul Mitchell, to be a co-sporting director. He's worked with him at the RB clubs. He's worked at AS Monaco. He's worked at Southampton. He's worked at Tottenham Hotspur. Paul Mitchell has an incredibly good CV. we need Richard Arnold to listen to Ralph Rangnick. And Richard Arnold said that he doesn't want to make the same mistakes as Woodward. He wants to give the footballing responsibilities of his job away to someone that knows football. Well, fair play, Richard Arnold. That's very good from you. But let's hope that the club do listen to Ralph Rangnick, because again, Ralph Rangnick, half of those players in that Liverpool squad that could be winning a quadruple that are playing so well, when they were unknown, Ralph Rangnick knew who they were and found them. And this is what irritated me in the summer. We knew that in January, we knew that Manchester United were going to need to get a young striker in the summer. We absolutely knew that we desperately needed a young striker in the summer. In January, there was £15 million, Julian Alvarez. Ralph Rangnick said, this is the guy, he can play on the wing, he can play as a striker, he's £15 million. Let's get him in January. Manchester United ignored him. Julian Alvarez has now gone to Manchester City. When he's the next Aguero at Manchester City, I can sit here and go, Rangnick told you so. And it really irritates me how in January the board ignored Ralph Rangnick. And I actually believe that Spurs will get top four. Arsenal won't, United won't. I think Spurs will get fourth despite their inconsistencies. And what did Spurs do in January that Man United and Arsenal didn't do? Spurs invested in January. Kuleveski been absolutely brilliant. Even Benteke. Spurs spent money in January. Arsenal didn't. They got some injuries. They're fucked. Okay, Arsenal are fucked. Let's hope they finish 8th so we can laugh at them. Manchester United didn't invest in January. Cavani's basically not been present since January. Either is Greenwood. Martial fucked off. Donny fucked off. We got weaker in January. It was December. We didn't think we were going to get top four in December. It wasn't certain. We then got weaker in January. No wonder we're weaker than we were at the beginning of the season. We've got less players. We didn't buy anyone in. I think Spurs will get top four because they brought and we didn't. And that brings me back to, not only did the club ignore Rangnick to get hidden gem Julian Alvarez, young striker for 17 million, which is someone that we probably would have been looking to buy in the summer if he hadn't gone to Manchester City. We've let a player that Ralph Rangnick has scouted when Ralph Rangnick scouted Mane, Firmino, Haaland, Werner, Kimmich, all these players that Ralph Rangnick have found for cheap in foreign leagues that are relatively on loan. We've decided to ignore Ralph Rangnick and still not buying in January, and that is why Spurs are going to walk the top four. That's what I feel. Daryl says that Garnacho better play. I would love to see Garnacho play. Cavani and Mata will leave, as Steve says, and we could have signed Sakara and Kessie for basically nothing. Same with Kamara, Andrew. I can't believe we didn't buy him in January. Even Hedera, who Rangnick wanted, was 30 million. I understand to an extent not knowing who the manager was going to be, so you didn't want to take the risk of buying anyone in January. So maybe that's why we didn't buy CDM. But I think signing someone like Julian Alvarez, it doesn't depend on the manager. That's a development transfer. Julian Alvarez for so little money, I don't think that really matters who the manager is. I think if you're making a big 50, 60 million CDM signing in January when you don't know who the manager is, fair enough, United. But a £17 million signing, especially when top four was uncertain, it always makes me crazy. Alice, you haven't explained the table. This is a table on Twitter, which is Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham's remaining fixtures. If it's red, it's loss. If it's yellow, it's draw. If it's green, it's win. And that's saying like this is what's needed to happen for United to get top four. I don't believe we'll get top four. I think it will go to Spurs. And Cuckoo off Leipzig. Yeah, I mean, Cuckoo's a player linked to United that we will also talk about later in the show as well. Guys, please do hit that like button if you haven't already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football. I go live every single evening. I will be live tomorrow night for a Manchester United versus Liverpool watch along. So do make sure you subscribe as well. But going back onto the Ten Hag, shall I update you on everything that you really need to know about ERIK Ten Hag? So, Ten Hag has been confirmed. Fabrizio Romano said, here we go, ERIK Ten Hag to Manchester United. Agreement on contract now. It's set to be completed. Fabrizio Romano said that Mitchell van der Gaag is the priority candidate for Ten Hag's coaching staff. Ajax and Man United in contact to discuss the £2 million release clause to get Mitchell van der Gaag, who's obviously worked closely with ERIK Ten Hag at Ajax. And Mitchell van der Gaag, who will hopefully be ERIK Ten Hag's assistant and is confirmed to probably be ERIK Ten Hag's assistant, has very good reputation in developing youth. And helping develop the youth for Ajax. When you think about it, Manchester United have got their best youth set up in 11 years in the FA Youth Cup final. Garnacho, MEJBRI, James Garner. I think, Mitchell van der Gaag, with his reputation of developing youth, for him to work alongside Ten Hag means not only does Ten Hag get one of his coaches to work alongside him rather than someone Man United want him to bring. So that helps Ten Hag, but I actually think it helps the squad because I think we've got such a good youth academy that we should utilise it. Fabrizio Romano also said that ERIK ten Hag is expected to commit to Manchester United with either an initial 3 years plus another option of 12 months or a 4-year contract lasting to 2026. So ERIK ten Hag will have a 4-year contract at Manchester United, and ERIK ten Hag and Fabrizio Romano said that Manchester United is set to announce ERIK ten Hag as permanent manager in the coming days. I tell you this now, I will call this now. Manchester United have a tweet ready for Wednesday morning to announce Ten Hag. Ten Hag will be announced Wednesday morning. Why? Because we're going to play Liverpool tomorrow night. If we're being realistic, we're going to lose to Liverpool and we might get embarrassed. I know we'll lose, but if we lose 2-1, I'm not that bothered. I am, because that makes top 4 hard. But if we lose 2-1, it's not the end of the world. When I say we're going to Anfield tomorrow, and there could be scores like 4-1, 5-0, we've seen Liverpool beats 5-0 at home. That is true. And Manchester United have ERIK ten Hag announcement pinned on Twitter, pinned on Instagram, will be released 11 a.m. Wednesday morning, because when we get embarrassed to Liverpool, what's perfect for United? PR spin, announce Ten Hag, lift the mood a bit. We're going to lose to Liverpool, our arch rivals. We could get embarrassed at Anfield, top 4 off, bad mood at Manchester United. Next morning, let's release that Ten Hag is done. Boom, mood lifted. That is why Ten Hag has not been announced yet. We will wait till after the Liverpool result to announce Ten Hag, because if we lose, there's a good PR spin, there's a good mood lifter. I can tell you this now, midday Wednesday, Ten Hag announcement. Come back to this video if he's announced before the Liverpool game and prove me wrong. He will not be announced till after the Liverpool game to lift the mood. PR spin. I tell you that now. I'm moving my hands a lot, aren't I? Talking of Ten Hag as well. Talking of Ten Hag's coaches, Mitchell van der Gaard, obviously who we want to bring in with Ten Hag. Obviously watches from, he's not often on the bench with Ten Hag. He likes to watch from afar, so he has a better view, but communicates with the Ajax bench and Ten Hag. Very good at developing youth, worked with Ten Hag closely for years. Brilliant. Another name that's been linked to Manchester United is obviously Robin van Persie. However, Romano said that there will be problems with Robin van Persie's work permit. And Steve McClaren was another name that could also be joining Ten Hag and Mitchell at Manchester United. And discussions regarding Steve McClaren also forming part of ERIK ten Hag's backroom staff at Man United may continue. So Romano and Jamie Jackson talking about Steve McClaren in talks as well. Now, Steve McClaren, as an assistant coach, actually has a very, very good reputation. Andrew says, Alice, I've never seen a squad of ours who do not put in a foot or body or shoulder on the opposition like this. Like, you're absolutely correct there. And we have to win, Alice, to ruin their title chances. We absolutely have to win, Gaz. I agree. It will be like a trophy. And will Ronaldo play tomorrow? Of course, Ronaldo will play tomorrow. We'll crumble without him. Unless he's injured, Ronaldo will play tomorrow. Varane is a doubt. McTominay won't be present. Fred won't be present. Cavani won't be present. Surprise, surprise. And Luke Shaw won't be present tomorrow. That's 5 big players out. The midfield 3 tomorrow. The starting 11 confirmed tomorrow is Matic, Pogba, Lingard. Apparently Bruno's getting dropped. Apparently it's Matic, Pogba, Lingard tomorrow. But I believe it'll be Matic, Pogba, Bruno, and midfield 3 tomorrow versus Liverpool, which again, it is a risk. It is an absolute risk. Thoughts on Maguire not celebrating the winner, just walked back to the centre circle, probably because he doesn't like Ronaldo, because Ronaldo's captain and not him, basically. Probably doesn't like that. Derby did get relegated, as I said. Commissions to Wayne Rooney, you know what I mean. Commiserations to Wayne Rooney. I think Derby have done fantastic. 20 or 30 of Derby players are academy players. They got a 21 points deduction, and they fought right to the end, and they won't even finish rock bottom. I think what Wayne Rooney's done at Derby I think it's absolutely incredible. Alice, did you get Easter eggs? I did. Well, I'm not a big Easter egg person. I like cream eggs, not Easter eggs, weirdly. And I'm south of Derby and Rooney too, Dan. It would have been really nice to see them stay up, but Reading all of a sudden have been pretty crazy good lately. Fuck you, Reading, and all of that. But an interesting story also said about ERIK ten Hag from Jamie Jackson and Fabrizio Romano. And he also said this in this report, but it has come out that it is understood that Ten Hag has been granted a key demand to be allowed the final decision on transfers together with the club executive due to his determination that the mistakes in the market over the 9 years should not be repeated. Now, this is the story that's come out today. Obviously, the Ten Hag announcement is brilliant, but the story that's come out today, which really stands out to me from Fabrizio Romano, is that Ten Hag believes that the previous managers at Manchester United have failed because they've not been allowed to make decisions together with the board. And the difference between Ten Hag and every manager previous to Ten Hag is that Manchester United promised Ten Hag the final say on decisions. Will Manchester United stick to this promise? We'll have to wait and see. Joel Glazer, this time a year ago, when the Super League was announced and he had to do his big apology, promised us a lot of things. Joel Glazer has not done any of the things he promised us after his big apology for the Super League, which was a year ago today. I spoke about that in my video earlier. But Manchester United have promised Ten Hag the final say, and Ten Hag had made it clear to United that he thinks the reason so many managers have failed is because they've done this and this and this wrong. Ten Hag's not stupid. He's done his research on United. Rangnick's not stupid. Rangnick knows why United have failed ultimately these last few seasons. He always hints at it in press conference. He always goes, Rangnick's always saying, look at what Liverpool have done, this giving this manager time, buying the right players, implementing a system, look at what Liverpool have done. You know, Rangnick and Ten Hag know exactly where Manchester United have gone wrong in these last 9 years, which is why it's brilliant that Rangnick and Ten Hag will be working together at Manchester United next season. But we need to make sure the Glazers listen to them. Yes, the Glazers have said, yeah, Ten Hag, you can have the final say, but they've got to stick to their word, because if they don't, Ten Hag will fail. We need to give Ten Hag what we promised him. Let's not run him under the bus, not throw him under the bus, sorry. We need to give Ten Hag what we promised him. And the fact that Ten Hag knows exactly where Manchester United have gone wrong in recent years and is not going to be a yes man is perfect, because Poch would have come in, he would have been the Glazers' puppet, he would have been the Glazers' yes man. Poch would not be able to control the Manchester United dressing room. They'd walk all over him just like they do at PSG. Whereas Ten Hag, he'll demand control of the dressing room, he'll demand discipline, he'll demand the standards and a winning mentality at Manchester United, and he will not be a yes man to the club because he wants to succeed. He doesn't want to be in the job and be friendly with the owners. He wants to succeed, which is exactly what this club needs. And I think it's absolutely brilliant that Ten Hag is allowed to bring in his assistants. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water, but any questions for me, do pop them in the chat. Ronaldo won't play tomorrow, says Ethan. I believe Ronaldo will play tomorrow. If he doesn't play tomorrow, I'll be Ronaldo's son has passed away. Is that I think that's a troll. I think that's a troll. I'm just gonna someone's saying Ronaldo's son's died, so we won't play tomorrow. Is that true? One of his shit, it is true. Oh shit. That's very, very sad. That's very, very sad. I actually thought that was a troll. It's one of his newborns twins. That's really, really sad. Because he only just had them. So maybe Ronaldo will not play tomorrow. Maybe he won't play tomorrow. That is very sad. Poor Ronaldo as well. He's just scored a hat-trick, and life is not nice, is it? It is not nice. The statement that's come out is from Ronaldo and Georgina just now is, it is our deepest sadness. We have to announce that our baby boy has passed away. It is the greatest pain that any parents can feel. Only the birth of our baby girl gives us the strength to live at this moment with some hope and happiness. We would like to thank the doctors and nurses for all their expert care and support. We're all devastated at this loss, and we kindly ask for privacy at this very difficult time. Our baby boy, you were an angel. We will always love you. That's very, very sad. So thoughts are with Ronaldo and his family. Yeah, that's horrid. Well, I hope he plays tomorrow. If he doesn't play tomorrow, I do understand, but I think Ronaldo will probably still play tomorrow, but that's horrific that things can happen to that. So, yeah, thoughts are with Cristiano Ronaldo there. We are going to talk a little bit about Ronaldo and his future. Obviously, he's massive for this club. You know, I still see. Do you know what really irritates me? What really irritates me is I still see reports coming out saying Ronaldo's the problem. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick on Saturday. Okay, guess what came out on Sunday? Erik ten Hag needs to get rid of Ronaldo. He's causing the dressing room problems. There are people out there with this Cristiano Ronaldo agenda, desperate to say it's the problem at this club. There are people that believe if Ronaldo didn't come to Manchester United, we'd have a better season. That's absolute BS. The cracks have been there for a while at Manchester United. The football playing under Oli was unsustainable. Ronaldo was not the solution to our problems, but he did not cause the problems. The cracks were always there. Ronaldo's been there to fix them with hat-tricks, getting us points against Spurs, getting us points against Norwich, actually beating them. And, you know, Erik ten Hag, we don't know what his plan is for Cristiano Ronaldo. We do not know what Cristiano Ronaldo's plan is. Ronaldo deserves better than Manchester United. Ronaldo does not fit into ten Hag's system. But I think, you know, as time goes on, we'll understand the direction and all of that. Daniel says Ronaldo's been one of the mainstays of this team this season. People don't know what they're talking about. And that clown Merson said Ronaldo was a terrible signing for the club on Sky Sports. That clown Merson is an absolute clown, because Ronaldo would walk into that Arsenal squad because Lacazette, more like Laka, no absolute threat at all as well. Guys, please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you are new. If you don't want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, please do hit that subscribe button. We'll be live tomorrow night for a Manchester United versus Liverpool watch along, and look, this could be a painful watch along, so I'll need you guys in the chat for support when we're getting absolutely battered by Liverpool. So I will be live tomorrow night for the Manchester United versus Liverpool watch along. I will be doing a match reaction after the game. Wednesday night will be transfer news. Thursday night will be news. Friday night will be a preview to the Chelsea game or Arsenal game. We've got Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool all in the next 9 days. I'll be doing watch-alongs, match reactions, match previews to all of them, as well as keeping you up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, updates and more. So if you're not subscribed, guys, please do subscribe to the channel. Andrew said Ronaldo and David De Gea are the only reason we have half-relevant seasons and they're the players getting all the pelters. It's an absolute joke. Maguire's been one of our worst players. Luke Shaw's been one of our worst players. Rashford's been absolutely dreadful. Wan-Bissaka's been dreadful. McTominay's been dreadful. Yet, if you read the media, De Gea's the problem, Ronaldo's the problem. Where would we be without De Gea? Where would we be without Ronaldo? We'd be absolutely fucked. Ronaldo and De Gea, long term, they need to be gone because they're aging. They're not going to suit Ten Hag's system. Cool. But right now, Ronaldo and De Gea are the least of our problems. Maguire's had the worst season. McTominay's had the worst season. Rashford's had the worst season. Bruno's probably had the worst season. Where would we be without De Gea and Ronaldo? Exactly. It annoys me. It annoys me how people say they're the problem because they're not. How many goals will we concede tomorrow is probably the question. And if I'm going to be honest with you, 3. I think we're going to lose 3-1. My prediction for tomorrow is 3-1. Do let me know your prediction for tomorrow. We are going to get into the predicted lineup. We are going to get into the predicted scorelines. We are going to get into a little bit of an interesting part of the screen. But I'm going to say 3-1 is my prediction. Do let me know yours down below. But what I want to do is I'm going to go to chosen 11. How do I think we're going to line up tomorrow? Could Man United play 5 at the back tomorrow? I don't think we will play 5 at the back because I don't think we have enough players to play 5 at the back, if I'm going to be honest with you. We don't have enough defenders. I think David De Gea will play in goal. I think Delo will be left back. Actually, you know what? Tellez has been so bad. I'm thinking we might see this. I don't know why. I think Tellez will probably play. But a small part of me, people saying 4-0 Liverpool, 3-1 Liverpool. Someone saying 6-0 Liverpool. Steve says 3-0 Liverpool. Yeah. Honestly, mad scores. I think maybe Ralph Rangnick might want to install some defensive discipline and maybe play Wan-Bissaka right back, the low left back, because Luke Shaw is out and Tellez, I'm sorry, is absolutely woeful. We could see something like this. Look, Maguire will play. Whether you want Maguire to play or not, he will play, and it will be Lindelof. Bailly has barely played. It's a risk. Bailly, look, I think that will be the back 4. Matic will play. He was rested basically versus Norwich. Pogba will play because we've got no one else, let's be honest. And Bruno, I think, will play. I think Lingard deserves it more than Bruno, but I think in a game like this, with Manchester United not willing to give Lingard chances, I think it ultimately will be Bruno Fernandes. I think Elanga will play because of his work rate and defensive ability. He'll be needed to track back against Salah. So I think Elanga will play instead of Rashford. I think Sancho will play on the left. And I think Ronaldo will play up top. Despite his son passing away, which is really, really sad, I still think Ronaldo will be present at the game tomorrow as well. Alex, I truly love you so much. Thank you for that. And Andrew said he'd definitely go with Delo left back and Wan-Bissaka right back. Tellez can't defend. And yeah, I do the same. I wonder if Rangnick will do it, but that's personally what I would do as well. Maguire needs to try hard if he wants a chance of staying in the team. I think it's going to be difficult for Maguire next season. I think it might be good for Maguire next season because a fresh start means that Maguire can actually, I think almost with players like Maguire and Rashford, their season's been so bad that it's going to be hard for them to find form now. It's almost like they need the season to end and a new one to start. But I think it will be difficult for Maguire next season under Ten Hag because I think if he plays how he's playing now under Ten Hag, he will be dropped. He won't be given that affinity of you play every game, doesn't matter how bad you are, Maguire. I think under Ten Hag, the standards will be ranged and he will be dropped. I do think that would be the situation with Maguire next season. However, I do feel like Maguire will play next season and find some form as well. Someone said sell Slabad to Leeds. Would Leeds want him? But guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new as well. We'll be live tomorrow night for Manchester United versus Liverpool watch-alongs, match reactions, match previews, news every night live. Alice Talks Football. Do subscribe if you're new. But what are your score predictions? I'm still going 3-1. This is my team prediction. Would you play with a back 5? If Ronaldo doesn't play, we should go with a back 5. I agree. Maybe Varane could be rushed back for the game, but the thing with Varane is when we rush Varane back from injury as a bad game, I'd rather Maguire play. I'd rather Maguire play than an unfit Varane, because then Varane's more at injury risk and he won't be as good, even though Varane is clear of Maguire. And people saying they don't think Ronaldo will play. If Ronaldo doesn't play, I understand, but I just think Ronaldo will play, because it sounds weird, but didn't he play just after his father passed away? Really early days, Man United. He has that mentality where I think Ronaldo will probably play tomorrow, but I think he won't join up with the squad till last minute, despite his son passing away. But if he doesn't play, I completely understand. I don't blame him for him, but I think just Ronaldo's mentality, I could see him playing. We will lose either way. Let Varane be fit for Arsenal. Exactly. I agree with Andrew there. At the end of the day, I love Rafa Varane. He's clear of Maguire, but I'd rather save him for Arsenal. Whereas I think a win versus Arsenal is bigger than a win versus Liverpool as well, because it is a 6-pointer, despite Liverpool obviously being the bigger rivals as well. I think we need to beat Arsenal and Chelsea, but we can lose to Liverpool. I think if I'm being honest, I think we'll beat Arsenal, but we'll lose to Chelsea, we'll lose to Liverpool, which means we've got to win those other games. I still think Spurs will get top 4, but if Manchester United can crack on, if Manchester United can improve, then yeah, hopefully we can get top 4 as well. Maybe Bruno false 9 tomorrow. Bruno false 9 was just so bad versus Man City that I don't see happening. I'd like to see Garnacho play, or Charlie McNeil really. Maybe Rashford striker, but no, we just can't. For me, Rashford can't play as a striker, can he? As well. But yeah, commiserations with Ronaldo. Thoughts are with him. Not commission. Fucking hell, thoughts are with Ronaldo on that as well. And if he doesn't play, it's understandable. I want to just get into a few things before I end the live stream. Rangnick did a press conference today. He confirmed that 5 players will miss the game versus Liverpool with injury. Those 5 players being McTominay, Fred, Luke Shaw, Cavani, surprise, surprise, and obviously Varane. Rangnick said, obviously, Bruno Fernandes had a car crash today. It's not been a good day for United. Bruno car crash, Ronaldo's son passing away. Bruno was training with the team today. He did have a car accident, but he is all okay. He should be okay for tomorrow. Bruno will probably be involved tomorrow. Varane is back in training, but not training with the players, so very unlikely that Varane will play. And then Rangnick obviously spoke about Jurgen Klopp. And this is a really interesting comment that Ralf Rangnick had made about Jurgen Klopp. Ralf Rangnick said that Jurgen Klopp is one of the best, if not the best coach. Not only now, but in the last couple of years, it's no coincidence what's happened. They brought in the right players, got rid of the right players, and this is why they are where they are now. And out of this sentence in the press conference, Ralf Rangnick says that Liverpool brought in the right players and got rid of the right players and brought in Klopp, and that's where they are now. And I think Ten Hag wants to be able to control who he brings in and who he sells. And I think Rangnick is really pushing Manchester United to make sure United let Ten Hag bring in who he wants and sell who he wants at United. Because that is why Klopp is so successful. He can bring and sell who he wants. And United need to let Ten Hag do that. And, Ralf Rangnick, again, saying that publicly, that's what they need to do. Rangnick was then asked if he believed that Manchester United can get top 4. And he said this is about being consistent and that the team will finish 4th. The team that finishes 4th is the most committed to that. Ralf Rangnick said the team that will finish 4th is the team that's most committed to that. And if Man United can show some commitment, if Man United can pull themselves together at the end of the season, we will finish 4th. I'm hoping, praying, begging that this Ten Hag being done, here we go today, could give these United players a boost to prove themselves. Because a lot of these players that want to leave, they won't be able to leave, and they will be here under Ten Hag. And Ten Hag will be watching. So you want to look good for Ten Hag, surely, if you're at United, which I'm hoping could give us that little bit of a boost. As well. Daniel says, guys, please do hit that like button. Yes, if you've not hit that like button, please do. Of course, do subscribe down below if you're new, because I will be live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Liverpool watch along. Share the video and all of that as well. Honestly, Varane is injury prone. I like Varane, but he has been very injury prone. But he's not been Cavani level injury prone. But I think Varane got injured and then we rushed him back, which has caused him to get further injuries. I think Varane's injuries, I think, is a little bit our fault. And man, you've got the hardest fixtures going for top 4. Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for United to get top 4. And Bruno only plays well for his country these days. Bruno only plays well 1 in 5 games these days. Bruno's turned to McTominay, where he's shit for 8 games, as an absolute masterclass. I really want Bruno to be back to his best. He's just signed a new contract. Guys, we're on 233 likes at the moment. I want to hit 250 likes. We've got over 300 people watching. We literally need 20 more of the 300 people watching to hit that like button to hit our target of 250 likes. So please do hit that like button if you have not already, and subscribe down below if you are new and all of that as well. But My last question is this Donny van der Beek's redemption? Ten Hag coming in. If this is a chance for the youth, this is a chance for Donny, because under Ollie, it didn't matter how good you were in training, you weren't getting into United side. Bailly would play of a masterclass, he'd be benched for Maguire. Donny would play of a masterclass, he'd be benched for McTominay. In the Ollie era, the youth and players like Donny were never given a chance. I think right now, if you're a Donny van der Beek, if you're an ERIK Bailly, if you're a James Garner, you should get excited, because this is the Ten Hag era. And I actually believe that we could see the likes of James Garner playing under Ten Hag. It sounds crazy, but let's do this. Let's go. Ten Hag's lineup at Manchester United could look something quite interesting. It could be Delot at right back. I think Luke Shaw will be Ten Hag's left back. But I think with Matic and Pogba going, we could maybe see Garner and Donny in the pivot next season. I think Ten Hag would try that out because of Garner's progressive passing and Donny having played under him. I think, you know, when we're looking at how Ten Hag could line up Manchester United next season, I think that Bruno will be involved, but I think that possibly we could see something very, very different. We could see something very, very different. Obviously, we'll probably sign a young striker, centre-back and winger, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Garner and Donny given some chances under Ten Hag next season, maybe even MEJBRI, and I'd like to see Garnacho given a go as well. And I think it was really humble that Ronaldo gave Garnacho the match ball. Garnacho is living life at the moment, training with Messi, training with Ronaldo, interacting with both the GOATs. I mean, this Garnacho guy, he's absolutely living life. Is Garner a good DM? I think he's a good DM. I think he's better than Scott McTominay, which is crazy because I've watched him play about 7 games, but he's fully convinced me that he's probably the best that we have. I don't think Garner's ready. I think Garner really needs a Premier League loan. Despite looking good against Liverpool, Leicester and Arsenal, I still think Garner needs a Premier League loan. But what I will say about James Garner is I think he's better than what we currently have. And if we don't sign a CDM, he's our best. With Matic 100% leaving and Man United only going to sign 1 CDM, maybe we keep Garner for backup CDM. And I believe Ten Hag would be the right manager to go and give Garner the opportunity that he obviously deserves as well. Guys, I'm going to end the live stream here, so please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Thank you everybody for tuning into today's live stream. I will be back this time tomorrow for Manchester United versus Liverpool watch along. I'll be back 15 minutes before kickoff tomorrow for United versus Liverpool watch along, and then there will be a match reaction after United versus Liverpool tomorrow. So I will be back live tomorrow, so I will see you guys again tomorrow night. So do subscribe and post notification bell on if you're new. Sorry if I did not respond to any of your live chats. I've been doing a lot of talking today. I will respond to a lot of live chats in my watch along tomorrow, so I will see you then. Thank you everybody. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Make sure you subscribe. See you tomorrow night. Good show, people. Bye.